Awesome stuff, guys, and congratulations to the Schneider Agency for their best week of 2022. That is exciting. We ended up with our second best week last week, and guys, that's just exciting stuff, guys. Records were meant to be broken, belief barriers were made to be blown through, and doors were made to be kicked down. And by the way, if one door shuts, just swing it back the other way. It's a door. That's how it works. So, guys, welcome to the to our first official Technical Tuesday call, where we have a either one of us is going to share something technical, or like today, we're going to have a special guest speaker who's a top producer in the company to come in and share their secrets of success. I hate to use the word secrets because so infrequently there is no secret sauce. There's just key ingredients, guys. And if you're the note-taking type, and I hope you are, that you'll write that down. There is no secret sauce, but there are key ingredients to every great meal. And you're going to have some of these shared right here. But guys, I want to share with you a little bit about Danny Narveaz. So Danny was born and raised in Bogota, Colombia, the capital. He moved to Miami, Florida at the age of 10, hence the name Danny Miami. He graduated high school from there in 2014, and he got a finance degree, graduating cum laude at Florida State University in 2019. Okay, so while building and leading an organization selling books door to door with the Southwestern Company every summer for those 5 years at Florida State. He started working with Family Heritage back at the beginning of 2020, and has loved every minute of it. I got a chance to meet Danny about 6-7 months into his career when we had our 2020 was a weird year, guys, if you remember. And that was the first year that we didn't go out of the country for our big Q3 trip. We went down to Florida instead. And I remember meeting Danny on that trip. Brian Ross had nothing but awesome stuff to say, and we had a great time. He's written 15 Eagles so far, maybe a little bit more, and earned every incentive trip that's been out there so far in every meeting. He was a top experienced person last year, and he's currently up 25% year to date in personal production. Danny enjoys traveling the country and the world with his friends and family. I organize 6 national and international trips per year, love to scuba dive, and love wakeboarding. And most importantly, spending time with my family. I love our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and reading the Bible is my favorite pastime. So guys, let's give a warm Davenport Schneider Agency's welcome to the one, the only Danny Narveaz.
Yeah, Danny!
Wow, man, that was an introduction, man. Thank you.
Welcome, Danny.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, Danny, you've been here now for about 2.5 years. You're a grizzly veteran, and I know that you had shared a few things with me when we were talking about this that you were specifically looking for when coming here to when you were looking for a career 3 years ago. Can you maybe share that with us before you kind of dive in with some of the technical training that you're going to do today?
Yeah, of course. So before I started this job, I just graduated college, had a finance degree, did books for 5 years, have my little organization growth over there. But no, man, I think like the biggest thing is when I was looking for a job, I had 7 actual things written down. And I remember the first one was I wanted a job where I can speak about God and it will be okay. Right. So that was my first thing. I made sure that faith goes first. My second part, I wanted a job that was flexible, that I can earn my flexibility. And if I want to travel for a month, or if I want to go somewhere for as long as I need to, I could do that. I want a job where I can have leadership that will push me. I have leadership that will help me grow. I want a job where I can make a lot of money and where I can also just serve people. So when I met Brian, it was just all the checks were there. So I was in. I was easy sell.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you found it here, Danny. Why don't you share with us a little bit about what we were talking about yesterday, and then you can hop right in with that technical piece with your iPad.
Awesome. So yesterday, I know we're kind of talking about how how my career has been. I know it's been 2.5 years now. Zach, shout out to Zach. Always love to see him in all the incentive trips. But yeah, no, so I think the most important part of this career was just the fact that I just got to work my schedule, to really work hard that first 2 years where I was just putting in 40 hours, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week on train wars. I mean, working till Saturdays. It was just a lot of hours and demos those first couple of years where, I told Van this morning or last night that this quarter, it was special because the first month of the quarter, I actually was taking time off. I went to the mid-year meeting. I went to Texas. I went to Colombia for a week with my girlfriend. And I didn't really start until like week 6. And as soon as I started, it was just like, okay, back to work. So 60-hour days, back-to-back Eagles, rest for a couple of days, go back to work, go to my friend's wedding. But I knew when I was going to come back, it was work time. And, thankfully, I was able to just finish the quarter strong, had an Eagle last week and, hit the trip. But it was all because I just know my schedule. I just know that when I work, it's put head down, turn off the phone, and I'm going out there and talking to family. So I was able to do that. And then, thankfully, this job has been able to help me just travel everywhere with my family. So yeah, very grateful for that, which will tie in with the technical for sure.
Very good, man. Danny, you have truly created earned flexibility within your career. We talk about in the interview process that one of the things that hurts people's career is unearned flexibility, is coming in here and just saying, well, I've got my own business. I can take all the time I want to off. And it's true, you can. Well, there's a lot of things in life that you can do that you probably shouldn't do at certain points. But tell us how you've personally utilized that earned flexibility, how you earned it, and how you've enjoyed it in your career.
Yep. So I'll start with, and I forgot to tell you this, Van, but last 2 years ago, I remember when I was kind of struggling after my third quarter, and I just wanted like a little refresher. So I went and I drove to North Carolina, and I got to follow Schneider. And I remember spending the whole day with Schneider and just, really seeing him work and just learning from someone else that wasn't in my org. That was a big help. From then on, it was just, I was able to just really focus on just good business, right? Like whenever I sell to my clients, I make sure that I come back to them and I reservice them and I get referrals and like they see me every week. And those clients have stayed on the books for, over 2-3 years now. And I've gotten a lot of referrals. So because of that, I'm going to take up a month off. I'm going to Colombia. I'm going to spend time with my family. And at the end of the year, I got another trip planned where I'm going to spend another month there. So it's just been, again, just amazing to be able to use this job to just go on trips and, have fun with it. Okay. Awesome.
Is awesome. Well, Danny, I know we were talking yesterday. You said that one thing that you did with Amanda Arndt's agency and that you shared with them was something that you could also share with us today. And that was how you tell stories. It's been said that facts tell, stories sell. Guys, people don't buy insurance because they get $800 a day for hospitalization. They buy this because of what they would do with that money that once it comes in. And those stories help people understand what they would do with that. Can you share with us how you use visual aids to help you do that, Danny?
Yep. Yes, sir. So we can do a little role play. So I'm going to talk about the approach and then transitioning to the intro. So pretty much that middle part, that beginning stage of the sale, which I think is very important. That's where you get people engaged. That's where you find the need. So, so I walk into a business, hey, my name is Danny. I'm working with Globe Life Family Heritage. I'm the one talking to all the businesses here in Moultrie, Georgia, about some supplemental benefits. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, I'm not sure if you recognize some of the business owners that I do business with, but I was just across the street with Ms. Latoya. She works at Amir's bank, just one of the tellers there. I got to talk to her, and you probably know Miss Elizabeth. Man, she's the city hall secretary. She's been there for so many years. She loves our products. She's never seen something like that. And Mr. Paxton actually works across the street. So he owns a real estate company. So I was just talking to them, and nothing you have to get. Takes a couple minutes. Do you mind if I show you what I have? Or do you mind if I sit down somewhere?
Sure.
Awesome. So once we sit down, well, thank you so much, Mr. Van. So, tell me about yourself. How long have you had this business? What do you do over here?
Been here 21 years. I'm in the supplemental insurance business.
Oh, awesome, man. Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Are you good friends with Mr. Paxton? Since I know that he does a lot with small business owners here.
Yep, I know him very well.
Okay, yes. I know Loudon, his son, he works with him. Not sure. Do you have any kids too, or?
I do. I have a son and a daughter, Jack and Ava. Jack knows Loudon.
Okay, cool. So right over high school age, man, that's exciting. And let me ask you, man, so how many employees do you have here? Is it just you? Like, what's the deal here?
There's 34 of us right now on the roster.
Wow. Okay. Awesome, man. So I think you might like this. So let me ask you this, Van. I'm gonna be super quick. Nothing you have to get. Most of the people that I talk to, they either love it, they like it, or if not, they don't. So I'll go ahead and just kind of show you what I did with Laura, with Miss Jennifer, and Miss Stephanie. And if you don't like it, totally cool. But if you do, just let me know. So let me just show you real quick. Out of these three, who will be the closest person that has gone through something like this? And then I kind of just go into my my intro, but it's just a lot of names, a lot of pictures, being friendly, stories, and again, guys, those are like the solid prospects.
That's awesome, Danny. How have you gotten so good? You seem pretty nimble with that. Do you? Where do you house those photos so that you can get to them? And then I get so quickly, like you are. And then, what do you do to get people to or how do you remember or to get those selfie pictures with all of your clients too?
Awesome. Yeah, good question. So my tablet, I have literally every client since I started. But what I've done now is actually just have little folders here. And in each folder, I have all my territories, so Moultrie, Swainsboro, Florida, whatever. And then in Moultrie, I have all the pictures. So the reason that I know them really well and I can find a picture, say a name and everything is because I follow up with them, Van. And I remember I kind of learned this from Schneider, where it's like, man, if I'm going to be in an area for 3-4 years, I got to really marry the area. I got to really go back and see my old clients, say hi to them. How are the kids? What's going on? Just really be personal with people. And I've probably seen every single one of these people here 5-6 times already in the last 2 years. And it's not like, for me, it's still work. Like it's part of my job to go follow up with them and really get to know them and get referrals. So I don't really get stressed about it. Like, oh my God, I need to go in there and get a demo, get a call. It's like, no, let me go follow up with them, see how they are. And that's how I memorize, man. It just stays in my mind. So
that's awesome, Danny. Who would you say are the top 3 to 5 prominent business owners in Moultrie, Georgia?
Oh, I love it. So we got Mr. Mall and Paola. They are actually the owners of Spencer Field. So they build planes, and believe it or not, he actually let me ride that plane with him up on one of the things. So that was pretty fun. I would say the owner of Touchdown Bar, Armando. Everyone knows him over there. They have like Saturday nights, Latin nights and stuff like that in that town. Everyone knows like Paxton and Ms. Peyton. So they're business owners, mixed couple. They got 4 kids. Their kids have like 3 kids. I mean, they're like that big family that have 4 different businesses. And I'll just give you one more, Miss Casey. So she's a hair salon owner. And because of Miss Casey, I was able to sign up 5 of her other hair salon ladies and 4 more other hair salon owners in Moultrie because they all know her. So yeah. good names.
That is super cool. So I'm going to give some other folks, guys, here an opportunity to ask Danny some questions here. Danny, I got a couple of quick rapid fire questions for you here real quick. So who's the mayor of Moultrie, Georgia?
Mayor of Moultrie, that'll be Josh Zimbley, I think his last name is.
Nice.
Zimber. I haven't met him yet.
That's cool. But you know who he is. What's the local newspaper in Moultrie, Georgia?
Oh, that's the Colquitt News. Colquitt. I've been in there. They did not. I tried it 4 times. They didn't want it. But Colquitt newsletter, something like that.
There you go. What's the I mean, there might be more than one high school, but that's the high school mascot?
Oh, the Packers, baby. They're like top in college. High school football. They've been there for a while. Yeah, everyone loves the Packers. I even have a little Packers sticker in my folder.
So, guys, I didn't prep Danny for that. I didn't ask. I didn't say, "Hey, have this, and this ready." But guys, I had a feeling when Danny said, "I married my territory." Guys, what Danny does is, like we all should do in our territory, is when we marry it, it means we know it inside and out. We know the major employers in town. We know the mayor's name. We know the chief of police. We know the newspaper. Hey, when you do that buying atmosphere and you ask for a yes or a no today, is, hey, can I yes, no? So I'm not going to get you in any trouble at home. I'm not going to be reading about the Colquitt newsletter headline is not going to be man shot by angry wife for getting supplemental coverage at work without her permission. That's not going to be the headline, is it? Guys, those little bitty things right there, when you slip in the local newspaper into that line, you're one of them. When you walk in today and you're in a business and hey, on Friday morning, and he's talking about, hey, are you going to the Packers game tonight? You going to Friday Night Lights? Oh man, they're playing Central. Can you? And it's got a big rival game. You know, they're going. I've never met this guy, but he's definitely one of us, right? Danny Narveaz belongs, right? So great stuff, Danny. Thanks for sharing that, man. And guys, if you want to know how you marry your territory, I don't have the page memorized in my head, but it's right around page 30 or 40. There's what's called a new territory worksheet in your success manual. And it's got a list of about 10 or 12 things that you want to know about your territory. Pull that out and make sure today you can get half of those items off of Wikipedia, just with a little bit of research. And the rest of them you get in the field by asking specific stories, okay? By going into the convenience store to get a water midday and you see that jar where they're collecting money for that 3-year-old that's got leukemia, okay? Those are the things you put down in there and that make you part of that community. So guys, any questions that we have for the great Danny Miami Narveaz before we let him go today?
Yes, I got one. Danny, thank you, man. I love your picture game. That is very strong. The way that you organize your names on your iPad by the different locations. So I just want you to, that is awesome. It brings it to life and it's full transparency. And I'm sure that you barely ever get, I've never heard of you guys before, because if you're showing pictures of like business owners in that community, I'm sure it breaks down all those trust barriers and you can get a quick sit down. Can you real quick talk about like how that's impacted your business, just taking the time to organize your names into those folders of like the different territories? So, and really getting to know those people's names, like how much that's really helped you produce at a high level?
Yeah. Good question, man. So definitely takes a little time to go over the names. So what I do is before the train more starts or before I go work, like I'll physically spend 10, 20 minutes and just role play the names. Okay. Bethany, Julio. Okay. And then just remember, just practicing, because there's been weeks where like, I don't do that. And I walk into turfs and like, I'm just not on fire. Right. I just forget. So spending 20, 30 minutes before even every night, honestly, if you really want to do well, man, it just helps you flow. So when you're out in the field, like when you use names and when you have stories, when you're looking people in the eye, I mean, I've gone from, averaging like, 9,000 a week to now when I put the 60 hours and I really go hard, I can hit 15, 20,000 that week in gap. And it's been consistent because of the fact that I'm just really focused on people, and it works out.
Boom. Thank you, sir. Beautiful.
Danny and Zach.
Oh.
Sorry.
Zach, the boy.
Hey, brother. Hey, how much time do you give your clients in between signing them up and following back up with them?
Great
Reservice.
question. I'm one of those people, man. I come back the next day. I say, how's it going, Ms. Jones? Everything good, solid, whatever. I don't know, man. They like that. Like they, you know, the next day, most people are afraid to do that because they think they're gonna cancel. I don't care. I walk in there confident, like, what's up, Ms. Jones? Is everything? And man, it really helps out. And then I honestly do it another time, maybe 2 days later again, before I leave town. And, you know, maybe drop off a little candy. I'm telling you, I'm very like, I have a little coffee candy from Colombia. I see them every time. But yeah, man, honestly, the next day, the 2 days after, just solidifying that sale. Like they know they're buying, they know they're staying. And if they're going to quit, they're going to cancel, they're going to tell you straight up, which honestly has not happened. So.
Now, you mentioned when you're in town. So how far is your turf from Miami?
Oh man, like 10 hours, but I don't live in Miami. I'm in Jacksonville.
That's right.
Yeah. And my train more territory is typically 2.5, 3 hours away. And I'll stay there an extra week. I don't care. I'll go the week earlier. You know, again, I make my schedule. So I try to really do back to back. But if I'm in Florida, I'm 40 minutes away.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
Guys, we got time for one more, maybe two, if they're quick questions. Renee, did you have one earlier?
I have.
Go for it.
So I'm assuming that you train people just because of your success. Do you have any suggestions? I've just started doing that. Do you have any suggestions for me?
Yes. Now I don't train as many people as Schneider and Van, so they probably have a lot better answers. But no, for me, I think I don't know, man. I'm just honest with people. Like I tell them up front, like, hey, like this is gonna be a great job, great career. You can make a lot of money, but it's a lot of work. So you gotta make sure that they know that, hey, it's a hardworking job. The results are gonna get there, but it all comes from the work. And I don't like to oversell people, you know, like getting more excited and then, oh, you can do this, you can do that, but then they don't work at the beginning. So just I really focus on, hey, hours and demos. First 3-6 months, that's all you care about.
Thanks.
Control the controllables.
Yes, sir.
I've heard that before.
I wonder where.
Nothing new, just doing the basics well. Guys, we got time for one more. This is a wonderful opportunity. Pretend you just hung up on the Zoom 30 seconds ago, because that's when the questions pop in your head, right? Right after you hang up. So everybody just pretend real quick. Okay, it's over. Bye, guys. You hung up. Okay. Now it's time for that question. Anybody?
Good morning, everyone. This is Leslie. Good morning.
Hey, Leslie.
Hey, my question is, you said you travel. Is that to a more rural area? Any reason why you travel so far outside of where you reside?
Yes, good question. So I do travel a little more rural. I live in Jacksonville. It's a big city. I don't know. I just like the rural areas a little better, just personal. I sold door-to-door books for 5 years before this job. So I'm kind of like, nah, I just don't want anything to do with cities. But you can be successful in any area, honestly. But that's my personal preference after 5 years of doing direct sales. So
Thank you.
yes.
And Leslie, I know this is your really second full week in the business, but last week was a train more. And on that train more, lots of people across the country willingly leave home, most of them on Sunday afternoon, drive, or some people hop on airplanes and fly to a destination where they're meeting with 10, 15, 20, 25 other agents, and either getting a nice big Airbnb house or staying at an inexpensive hotel. And then they systematically work the smaller towns around that area. That's called a travel train more. Those people typically, there's a little bit of training that goes on every day, face to face. There is additional accountability that goes on. There is teaming up and training that goes on, hence the name Train More. There's more training. And they typically work pretty late into the evening. So a lot of people that work business to business will do that up until 5:30, 6:30, 7. We all know there's businesses open 24 hours a day. Then they'll shift gears and they'll go see people either residentially. If they have appointments, if they have yes cards through enrollments, they'll go see those people. If not, they'll simply carve out a residential area right there close to where their working business is, or strategically on their drive home from their territory to where the Trainmore Hotel is or Airbnb. And they'll work that residential area in the evening until 9:30, heck, 10 o'clock, before stopping in and getting that one last demo at 10:30 at the convenience store when there's only one car there and you know that belongs to the employee inside. So those people that travel on Trainmores oftentimes will have 2, 3, 4 times the normal week's production because of the focus, the energy, the momentum that's created that week. They also, by putting in an extra 2 or 3 hours each evening, most of the time they double their results by sticking around and putting in some time on Saturdays, which some people do, some people don't. They pick up a lot of people that just got paid that they couldn't catch up with during the week, and they just got paid on Friday, and now they're home on Saturday flush with cash and ready to be caught up with. Some people double their weeks on Saturday before heading home. So Danny was just talking about, he gets out of town 1 week out of each month and does a travel train more. And oftentimes will, because of his situation, he'll do 2 weeks back to back. Okay. So no kids, no esposa just yet. Probably not even, you don't even need a dog. You can do those things. So, and folks that have all those things, most folks still do it. They just kind of have to set things up a little bit better on the front end. So that's something that we've had a few agents that have gotten back to doing some travel train mores recently, and the results were phenomenal. So if anybody has an interest or is intrigued by that, just let me or Kyle know. And we can definitely systematically put you together with people that are wanting to do that and potentially have a travel train more so each quarter. There's been a lot of talk about that. So guys, Danny, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to hop on here with us and drop some knowledge. We really appreciate it. Excited for you. Congratulations on earning Puerto Rico and being an earner, even though you basically had the first month and a half of the quarter off. To do that in the last 6-7 weeks shows a lot of skill, shows a lot of talent, but also shows a lot of focus in the amount of time that you had to earn that. And enjoy that month off that you're taking to go down to Bogota here.
Thank you.
Soon. So
thank you.
Well earned ability. Guys, the amazing, the incredible Danny Narveaz.
Thank you, Van. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. I will say, by the way, guys, I learned a lot from Schneider and Van. Like, even though we're not in the same agency, since our first year, like you said, I've made sure that I became friends with you guys because I wanted to learn more. And I followed Schneider twice in my career. I mean, you guys' agency just has taught me a lot. So thank you. I would say thank you for that.
Absolutely, Danny. Way to pay it forward. And thank you for being on here, man. And we love being in business, in partnership with you and in friendship with you. Guys, we created a truckload of momentum last week with our effort and the results that came forward. Let's capitalize on that momentum and go out and see the people and kick off Q4 with the end in mind and have a great, strong day, because there's somebody out there in your territory that's going to have a rendezvous with life. So we've all been so very blessed in our lives. Let's go out today and be a blessing for somebody else. Have a great day, guys.